Hello aviators, Sky here, and today we are looking at a potential continuation of the Japanese jet lineup. Created by the team of Michimasa Fujino at Honda Aircraft Company, the light HA420 HondaJet quickly won the love of aviators and customers. Now, they are taking a step forward with another curious model. Fall of 2021, NBAA Business Aviation Convention and Exhibition. Honda Aircraft presents the HondaJet 2600. A conference, a beautiful story about the company's work, and a mock-up mainly for demonstrating the cabin. We are still talking about the concept of a future light business jet. The concept is ambitious. An aircraft with a transcontinental range, a capacity of up to 11 people, advanced equipment, unique aerodynamics, and excellent economy. Let's take a look at this little thing. In order to better understand what the future product of Honda Aircraft is like, let's take a look at what they are doing now. The HondaJet is one of the most famous modern light business jets. Length of 13 meters, wingspan of just over 12 meters, weight of only 4.8 tons. Capacity of up to 7 passengers plus 1 pilot, flight speed 422 knots, 782 kilometers per hour. Range 1,437 miles. Of course, the brainchild of Honda could not be an ordinary airplane. Laminar flow around the airframe, the widest use of composites, and advanced manufacturing methods give excellent aerodynamics. The filling is appropriate, starting with the quality of finishing and ending with a full set of onboard equipment, which, moreover, becomes cooler with each update. And of course, the power plant, the engines located on the pylons above the wing. The solution has its pros and cons, but in the case of a small business jet, the pros outweigh. This arrangement reduces the risk of foreign objects getting into the engines, reduces the noise on the ground, and more importantly, reduces the level of noise and vibration in the cabin. In addition, the lack of engines in the tail frees up a lot of space there. This explains the, at first glance, unusually long cabin inside a rather miniature airplane. This little guy turned out to be very comfortable for passengers, very decent in terms of flight performance, and very fun for piloting. It does, however, cost $5.4 million in the Elite S version, but if you really want it cool, you have to pay. And they do pay. Founded in the year 2000, Honda Aircraft was a small team of engineers sitting outside Greensboro Airport. Now it is a decent aircraft factory where more than 1,000 employees assemble dozens of aircraft every year. At the same time, the research carried out by Honda Aircraft, coupled with their ambitions, not without that, are pushing the company towards the extension of possibilities. They started to talk about a still light aircraft, but with a greater range, speed, and capacity. The proposed aircraft should be one step above the HondaJet, in a league of such machines as the Cessna Citation CJ4, Embraer Phenom 300, or Pilatus PC-24. Honda, of course, even now, cannot make just another plane in this class, and must offer something special. The new aircraft should be able to fly over transcontinental distances, have a large capacity and payload, while remaining a light business jet. So, what does Michimasa Fujino's team want to create now? We return to Las Vegas, the HondaJet 2600. The external resemblance to the original HondaJet is obvious. However, with the new requirements, a simple modification will not be enough. This is a concept of a completely new aircraft. Length 17.62 meters, 57 feet. Wingspan 17.29 meters, 56 feet. So the new aircraft adds about 5 meters in both directions to the dimensions of the HA420. At the same time, its weight is almost 8 tons, 17,500 pounds. Continuing the ideology of the first HondaJet, the 2600 concept inherits the technological solutions of its predecessor. The most difficult task in its creation must be the fuselage. It is close to the fuselage of the original HondaJet, but has a slightly different shape and is obviously much longer. This is also noticeable visually. On each side there are 6 windows, instead of 3 at the little one. The fuselage is fully composite and should maintain near-perfect aerodynamics, supporting laminar flow. This is a very serious challenge for engineers. On the one hand, Honda already has experience with such a fuselage, that of the small HondaJet. On the other hand, that is the small HondaJet, and how easy it will be to do the same with a fairly grown airframe is an open question. The wing of the aircraft, in spite of its large size, is likely to receive a similar design. Elongated trapezoidal consoles with large winglets, ailerons and flaps, without spoilers, and air brakes in the tail. The wing should also be laminar, as smooth as possible, and with monolithic panels of the upper surfaces. Everything that's already done for the HondaJet Elite, but larger. The power plant has an over-the-wing engine mount design. Without it, the HondaJet is not a HondaJet. It is not yet known what specific engines are planned to be installed, which is a bit strange. The presentation contains a lot of speeches about the economy and ecology of the aircraft, without specifying, in fact, the most important part of this economy and ecology. The original HondaJet is powered by a pair of HF-120 engines, a joint brainchild of General Electric and Honda. The thrust of the engines is 9.1 kilonewtons, 2,050 pounds force, which is enough for a small aircraft, but not at all for the big brother. About 15 kilonewtons is needed here. The GE Honda Aero Engines representatives did mention the potential creation of the more powerful engines based on the HF-120, so we might see a new Fiery Heart. Or maybe, on the pylons of the 2600, in the end, there will be some Williams. You can't boast of your own design, but it's easier this way. The HondaJet 2600 should have a 7.74 meters or 25 feet long cabin, the biggest in the class, and a whopping 2.3 meters longer than the small HondaJet. The width of the cabin is 1.55 meters, 5.08 feet. The height is 1.59 meters, 5.21 feet. 1.59 is the maximum in the class, but with a compromise. The increase in height is achieved by a deepening in the passage. The solution in the business aviation is already well known. It allows, not to crawl on your fours, especially in such a long cabin. But this is nevertheless a little cheating, adding comfort in a still rather narrow fuselage. But the length of the cabin does its job. The plane can accommodate 11 people, including one pilot. The configuration options of the cabin are wide, from simple ones with the arrangement of seats in a row, to VIPs with armchairs facing each other, or even placing a sofa or a TV. As a bonus, there is a new scheme for reconfiguring the chairs, which, with the addition of their own mattress, form a decent bed. I don't know how practical it will be, but it looks cozy. The most important part of any passenger plane, the toilet, is located in the tail behind the cabin. Everything is normal here. It is about the same as on the HondaJet Elite. The extra space in the tail adds not only cabin space but also cargo space. Even though there is no luggage compartment in the nose, like at the little HondaJet, the total cargo volume has reached around 3.4 cubic meters, 120 cubic feet, a large, long compartment. Meanwhile, a composite fuselage and a better air conditioning system will provide decent pressure in the cabin, like at an altitude of 1,939 meters, 6,300 feet, when flying at a practical ceiling of the FL-470. We will talk about this later. Honda Aircraft's pursuit of maximum automation and simplification of piloting in the new aircraft should be taken to the next level. The core of Avionics remains the Garmin 3000 system, with customization for the specific aircraft. There's a full set of existing and new features, including automation of engine controls, a number of piloting systems, improved landing gear control, and so on, up to lane analysis with the selection of optimal braking modes after landing. The primary goal of all these electronic dances is to unload the pilots, or rather the pilot. The HondaJet 2600 is supposed to become the most long-range business jet that can be flown by one person. Optimized cockpit space adds approximately 7.62 centimeters, or 3 inches overhead, and 15.24 centimeters, 6 inches of length. Sitting and spinning in the cockpit will be more comfortable. The most important and especially emphasized performance of the HondaJet 2600 is the number from its name. 2600 means 2600 miles of flight range, more precisely 2,625 miles of range with 4 passengers and 1 pilot on board. 4,862 kilometers, decently more than that of the counterparts. This range is enough to, for example, from New York, get to any part of the United States. Well, except for Alaska and Hawaii. In other regions, the route network is also wider. Tokyo, Hong Kong, easy. London, Cairo, no problem. This figure makes the 2600 concept the longest distance lightweight business jet. That's what they're betting on. Other specifications are also pretty good. Maximum cruise speed 450 knots, 834 km per hour. Upper flight level 470, approximately 14,326 meters, 47,000 feet. A loud statement. One of the solutions that should allow it to jump that high I have already mentioned: a fully composite fuselage and air conditioning. In many other aircraft at such a height, passengers would at least feel uncomfortable. Takeoff and landing performance, meanwhile, should remain at the level of the little brother. Takeoff distance of 1,006 meters or 3,300 feet, 762 meters or 2,500 feet for landing. Thanks to all these solutions, the HondaJet 2600 should be 20% more economical than its classmates and push them out. In addition, an aggressive beginner might start stepping on the tails of mid-sized business jets. The short range that kept the light birds on a short leash, in the case of the 2600 model with its 2600 miles, will still hold, but on a longer leash. It will be able to fly many routes previously occupied by larger aircraft, and with Honda aircraft promising as much as 40% better economy than mid-sized jets, it could become a bit of an invasion. Alas, the HondaJet 2600 is more of a Honda aircraft's vision of the future aircraft. The presentation was not a full-fledged announcement of a new model, but for now a probing of the market. Even the name HondaJet 2600 is most likely conceptual, and if the program is launched, the real aircraft may receive a different name. In view of this fact, of course, little is known about the status of the project and its development. It is also too early to talk about the timing. Something similar happened with the first HondaJet. The aviators were extremely careful when creating it. This extended the creation time, but we got a very interesting bird. Let's hope that now everything will be done faster. After all, we're talking about the successor of the line, and not about the first serial aircraft of the company. This concludes our today's conceptual adventure. Hopefully, the new plane will arrive soon, and be as beautiful as its older little brother. Like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to watch the videos early, see some exclusive behind-the-scenes content, or just support the channel, consider joining our Patreon community. Fast flights and soft landings to you.